All right, coroutine video part 2. We have the ability to start running code using the syntax of coroutines, where we make a function with a return type IEnumerator, and we start coroutine that function. And then we can use a yield instruction. We need at least one yield instruction in order for the coroutine to run. So here's this Sokoban game we've been making, and it's pretty good. It's getting there. We did heads up display. We did a command pattern. We did event system in this video. I don't know. I've used this project for a lot of little code patterns. And I got one more for you in this one, which is going to be the having the blocks slide instead of jumping from start to end. So we don't want them to instantly teleport. I want them to move quickly. So our blocks and our players share this block script, and that block script has a function called move in direction, where it sets its position to whatever its new destination position should be. And that's really nice because we can just call this function whenever we want it to move. It is being called by the move commands and being pushed and so on. So let's replace it with a function. I'm actually going to leave it as is. I'm not going to replace this part with an IEnumerator because then I would need to go and find all of the places that use it. And I don't want to put the start coroutine stuff all over the place. I want start coroutine as a rule of thumb. Whoops. Oh gosh, what just happened? I opened a different script. Wrong keyboard shortcut. There it is. I want, as a rule of thumb, I want the start coroutine function to be the thing that controls itself, because if that object gets destroyed, if it has a coroutine running because it has called start coroutine, it will be fine. It'll keep doing it. But if I called start coroutine somewhere else that is moving, an object A that is moving object B, and then object B gets destroyed, object A is going to keep running that coroutine, and object B won't exist anymore, and that's bad. So we want objects to sort of manage their own coroutines as a rule of thumb. So something else will call this function still, and it will call a IEnumerator like animate move, and it will take a destination. Oh, I guess I didn't show in the previous video. We can just, these functions can have properties like any other function. We could even, we'll keep it simple for now. We'll just lock the time down. So we need to know our start, and that'll just be our current position. We need to know our end, and that'll be our destination. Don't really need to write that part, we'll just use the destination. We need to know a t value for our interpolation, linear interpolation. And then we need to increase t from 0 to 1. And we'll just have this take 1 second. We'll worry about how long it takes. First, let's get it working. We'll do our yield statement, and we will move it. And we will set its position to some value between start and end, determined by how much t is between 0 and 1. We will round off so that we're not our position, so we'll snap it exactly to the destination when we're right before we're done. I'm back. And we will snap it to our destination when we're done. So all we need to do here is, instead of teleporting us, instantly, we will start the coroutine, animate move to this position. We'll make that a little vector 3. And then I guess we have to move this event call right to the end to wait till it's done moving. Let's see if that works. It's so slow. So we have a few bugs. If I keep trying to move while I'm still moving, it'll start another coroutine. And then they'll both happen. And the one that's happening later will just like set its position, and that's the one we're seeing happen, but it's like jumping around. And then when the frame gets drawn, just it's at one last position. But it's not, yeah, it's getting called at like the wrong time. So that's exactly why we are doing, here's the simple version. This doesn't look any different than the code I showed you before, but here we're actually trying to deal with like the real world scenarios. There's another bug, aside from trying to like manage the coroutine itself, which is if we tried to undo, it would move slowly back. And I don't think I want that either. I don't think I want that. So we'll make a little serialized field, private float time to move. And that'll be how long it takes for this block to move. But I'm actually just gonna I'm gonna hard code that for now at like 0.2. Why hard code it? Because all of my blocks must move at the same speed. So maybe I could throw that in my settings for my layer settings, scriptable object, and I could have them all reference that same one float value. That makes sense, but then I would want to rename layer settings, and I don't want to do all that refactoring right now. So I'm just gonna hard code it so they all move at the same. Because if the player and the block they're pushing or if I set 1 to 0.2 and 1 to 0.5, it won't look like it's being pushed. So that setting should be shared amongst all the objects. That shouldn't be like, it shouldn't be something that you choose on a per object basis. But maybe you push a big heavy block and you go slower. I don't know. Anyway, delta time divided by time to move. So this is at 1 unit per second, and then we do we multiply or divide here? We divide here. I'm thinking it through and I confused myself. But this is a fraction. This is less than a second. It's like 0.2 of a second. Yeah, if this was like 3, we'd be increasing at 1/3 unit per second. If this is less, okay, yeah, it's divided, of course. Of course, math. Love math. So that'll move us faster. Let's fix the undos first, and then let's fix the... See, now we're less likely to hit that bug and tap the button more than once, but oh well. So let's fix the bug with undo. I only want to have this object move, animate sometimes. Other times I do want it to teleport instantly. So I'm going to add another, in this move in direction code, I'm going to add a second property. And I'm going to call it instant. And if it's instant, I'll do the code from before. I made this variable on purpose so I can use it twice and not call this function twice. And we will call that event. And if it's not instant, we will call the coroutine. So if this is true, I will do it the same way it was before I touch this code. But if it's false, then I'll do it my way. And now you see I have errors, and the errors are in my functions. I need these functions to tell it what to do. So when I'm executing, I want it to animate. And when I'm undoing, I want it to be instant. Same for the push block, execute, I want it to animate. And undo, I want it to be instant. I could have changed this variable to be like animate, and then let me bring myself back to, where am I? I'm using a keyboard shortcut, Control Alt left and right in Writer. Nice. And my events that are having this update are still getting updated. Nice. Okay. This Control Alt left and right will just move me to like previous cursor positions. but even jumping between files. So if I'm just trying to get back to like where I was, just Control Alt left. It's like a history feature. So it's such a good shortcut, but it makes these videos hard to follow, and I try to avoid them when I'm recording videos, and I have today failed at that. Sorry. Okay, I need to go back to the block script that has my movement code. So I got the undo feature fixed. That's pretty easy. You know, we just only use this coroutine when we want to animate, and who knows when we want to animate? Somebody else. I'll put a property in this function, and that can determine it. Great. So now we just need to allow this coroutine to be interrupted. That's a weird one. There are two ways to do it. We could cancel the coroutine outright entirely, and then start a new one. And that's a pretty good way to do it. Or we could have some Boolean value like animating or moving that we set here when we start moving, and that we unset when we're done moving, and then we just check if that's true. And then if it is true, then we either choose to just ignore input. You can't spam the input button. And that's the one we're going to use because it's the easiest. So we're just going to make a private Boolean move. And then my input. Actually, I think I need to make that public, right? I need to make that readable. Let's rename it to animating. Something like that. Private setter, public getter. Yeah. Let's see. What do you want to do? Oh, you just want to rename it. Okay. I was like, what am I getting this error for? And then I didn't rename it here. Animating is true when the coroutine begins, and it's false when the coroutine ends. So now I just need to check this variable, and I check it through this public variable. It will tell me whatever this one is equal to, but I can't change it from elsewhere. And on my player input, where is that player? Try move. If block dot is animating, return false. False? Yeah. Returns true or false if we're able to move. Look at this comment. I remember what my code does. Yeah, it's fine. Now, what I would really like to do is store that in a list so I can spam it, and it doesn't move twice. Bug solved. It doesn't feel good. It's not juicy, but the bug is solved. It would be even better to make a, oh my God, should we just do it? Should we just do it? What we could do is, I don't need it. I already have an update loop. No, okay, it's fine. It works. The bug is fixed. The bug is fixed. I will do the rest of the coroutine things, and then at the end of the video, we'll make that juicy. Let's take a look back at the block script for ways we can improve this. One thing we can do is we could make a animation curve. Movement ease. And then in my lerp, I could evaluate that animation curve, which if you've seen the lerp, if we've done lerps, then you've seen this before. And if you haven't, I'm gonna blow your mind. And that movement ease we can set to like go fast and slow down. So as t goes from 0 to 1 on the x-axis, the evaluation of t will go from 0 to 1 on the y-axis. It's, y equals f of x. And here's that function. Here's that f of x, just this curve. And I need to apply this to the I'm gonna apply that to the player. I also need to apply it to all of my objects, which is the problem that I faced earlier with, and I didn't make that thing public because I have to now make sure these two things share the same settings, and maybe I could use a scriptable object that has all movement settings in it and so on. I don't know if it's coming through on the video. I could like slow down the movement, but it feels nicer. It feels good. Oh, I feel like there's a bug. When do I check for victory? After turn is executed. Okay. That's done by the turn manager. I need to call this check for victory function after the players are done moving. Because it's checking it instantly and the move hasn't finished yet. It's like not a hard fix. We could just like, I don't want to do it in the blocks because I don't want to happen every time. Really, it should be in the commands. Maybe they could start the coroutine and then yield and then return them. We should fix the bug. Wasn't planned in my video. I forgot. I didn't think about that. I mean, this was the video. This was the scope of the video, and now I want to do two other things. I want to fix that bug, and I want to make the movement juicier. So anyway, video over, assigned section of video over, and unassigned section of video begins. If I have assigned this video for a class. Let's fix those bugs. Let's make it juicier because that's fun. And fixing a bug is not fun, so I don't want to do it. My player, we're going to keep a list of all of our input, and we're going to stack that list on we're going to put it in a stack. Or a queue, I guess, first in, first out. Anyway, we're going to keep a list of it. And then if there's anything in the list and we're not moving, we will move. Otherwise, we will wait until it's over. So if we move and we're still animating, it'll just store that. And then when we're done moving, it'll just grab the next thing from the list until it's empty. So I'm going to delete that temporary fix. I'm going to go up and make a private queue of vector 2 ints. And we'll call it movement queue. And that needs to be a new list. Let's initialize it in awake. Sure. It really doesn't make a difference because this object will be, we're not creating these objects like late, that's fine. We'll let try move just do its move, and we will, instead of actually moving them, we will just go and do movement queue dot add dot, not add because it's a queue, not a list. It's pop, no, push, no. What's the one for NQ? We add vector 2int dot up. All right, where's my? I don't need that code. I need this code on my clipboard. Bam, and we will just add these to the list like that. And undos should not break things. Okay. Okay, now we might be breaking undo. Undo might, like, we need to stop coroutines. Okay. Now, if movement queue dot count is greater than 0, and we're still inside of update, remember, and we're doing this code after this part. So in one frame, we will add to the list, and then that will be in the list, and then we will grab it. But we will only do it if we are not animating. If not animating. And of course, I can write these two if statements as one if statement. We'll do this one first. Whoops. So checking the count of a list is a little bit slower than just checking a Boolean's value. So I'm going to block dot it's animating. So that's false. It won't even bother with that part. We will try move. We need the vector 2 int. We need our direction to be movement q dot dq, which will, very helpfully. Oh gosh, no, don't go there. Don't do that. Ooh, undo. Which will take the item out from the front of the list, the first thing that was in, the one that's been in there longest. It will take it and it will remove it from the list. If there's nothing in the list, it'll throw an error, but we're checking for that. And we will try to move in direction. So if I'm trying to go up, 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 right, it should, oh gosh, I'm in play mode. I broke it. What did I break? If we're not animating, I forgot to copy and paste the exclamation point when I moved that. Whew. That one could have caught me for a while. So I can just spam it. Let me make this easier to see. I can go to block and I can go up to this and I can make this like 0.7, take a little longer to run. So I'm gonna spam up, 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 right. So I went up, hit the wall, couldn't keep going, and then tried to go right. That's probably not what I want. I think if my move is invalid, if it like can't push the block, then my mental like, I want to do this sequence of events should like cancel. It's going for a while now. So, because if I'm like pre-inputting commands, I should expect those all to work. And if I hit a wall, I shouldn't like, okay, well, I won't do this one, but I'll keep doing those other commands. Like they're probably not what the player wants to do. So I'm gonna do a little if not try. If we didn't successfully move, then we will clear the movement queue. And that's just a little bit of movement polish. That's just a little bit like, it's gonna make the game feel a little bit nicer. So I'll do up, 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 right. So I don't move to the right because it failed at that second moving up. Cool. Now that feels awful, but if we make move, you know, a much faster, block. If we make the move time much faster, with that little animation curve, it should feel pretty good. Game's still broken. Yeah. Oh, it feels much better. Okay. So what's the best way, the right way, the smart way, because this project is an example project and I don't want to take a shortcut. We should move the execute. We should make the execute function a coroutine. We should make this a coroutine. That stinks. That's annoying. It doesn't stink. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. We will yield for a coroutine. Nice. Okay. And then I gotta find where it's being used, and we will start. We will yield this coroutine, and this will be a coroutine. Can I just do it in here? Where does the event? Where's my event command system? Command system. Who is using that? Game manager? Where's my turn manager? You call this after turn executed event? How about we use a delegate? Pass this event into the function, and then it calls it whenever it's done. All right, that's okay. That we don't have to turn this whole thing into a coroutine, and then in the turn manager, we start, we yield for it, and then when it's done, and it is yielded for the other coroutine, and that is yielded for the other coroutine. I feel like this will touch less pieces of code. And also isn't stupid. Action on complete. Action on, we'll do it for both. And now all of these are broken. Action on complete. Do you want to be lowercase? Sure. Action on complete. And then, right, we can just call them when we're done, right? Here we're just passing it into this part. But I'm gonna do another, I'm just gonna keep going. We're just gonna keep passing that along. Let's fix these other commands. You need that, we're just gonna keep passing it along. Just pass the buck. So these are now successfully overriding. Great, okay. Okay, so the turn manager, after undo event, will be called by that. So the turn manager is done. It is no longer broken. You are just messing up that function call. You are just messing up that function call. Let's fix this function call. Action on complete. If for instant, we'll call it then. Otherwise, continue to pass this function along. We're just, here you go, okay, here you go. Well, thanks, you figure it out. We'll continue to pass it along until we get to the very end. And we will, should we do it after? No, I don't know. Shouldn't matter. We'll call it. I think that fixes it. I think now the move shouldn't, I can't move anymore. Did I test it if I fixed it? Why can't I move? Which part is broken? I touched so many systems. Debug. I can't even begin with debug.log. I gotta go straight to the debugger because I don't know how many different things I've hit. Okay, we're gonna try this line of code. Or no, I guess we could just jump up to the actual try move. See if this code is happening when I push the button. Yes, it is. Okay, so are we moving in a direction? We are. Okay, so we should be able to move. So we create the new command, and then we execute the command. Let's jump into execute command. Okay, so we go here, and we execute it. Let's jump into that. All right, and here's that action for on after turn executed being passed along. We get to here, and this function gets called. All seems good. No, I wanted to jump into that. Oh no. I didn't. Okay, we'll go back. But I didn't move. Okay. Okay, we're trying that again. We're stepping through. I'm going to step into the execute command. I'm going to step into this one. I'm going to step into. to the, where was I? I was in the block, right? It's like, let's see if this code is happening. We'll just jump ahead. It's not. Interesting. So the move code maybe is this part wrong? I changed this. I changed this line to a coroutine, and then I changed my mind, and I said it shouldn't be a coroutine. But I forgot to actually change the thing back. Okay. Okay. You can't just like call coroutines normally. They won't do their thing. It's juicy. It's pretty clean. It feels good. It feels good to play. It doesn't feel like it's catching input. That feels weird. Maybe we should set like a max limit on the queue and not keep loading it up. But you know, I'm calling it a success in this video. 15 minutes later, longer than I wanted it to be. Honestly, 15 minutes. You know, it's not. You know, this is a good. That's a good amount of features to add. Oh, should we just do that little movement data, like scriptable object for? We'll just duplicate layer settings and we'll call it movement settings. And call this movement settings. Movement settings. Movement settings, and we just need a time to move. Curve. Yeah, that feels all right. Settings 1.cs. That is not what that file should be called. I should not have duplicated another file. There we go. And then my block will take a movement settings. And then my error is I need my movement settings dot movement curve. And here I need my movement settings dot time to move. And I don't need time to move. Okay. Moved those variables into a thing. And I remembered all of my curly braces and everything. Okay. We copied, we pasted like champions. Game data is in a new scriptable object. Movement settings. And I felt like 15 and that felt pretty good, but I kind of want to make it even more extreme. And now I can, because all of my blocks, all of my prefabs will be controlled from the same place, so I can just like deal with it. Oh, and if we remember even my other little tip of setting these up in the script, so when I make new instances of the script, it like injects my dependencies. Like I said, okay. So those prefabs updated, they are. Should still work. Feels good. Feels good to play. Looks good. The code isn't very ugly. I don't even hate this this like on complete action command being passed along. I kind of wish I maybe reordered them for a reason, but it's pretty good. It's not, you know, it's not terrible. It's not unreasonable. We're calling it there. We fixed bugs, we hit problems, but it worked out. And most importantly, we used coroutines to make our game feel a lot better. And 95% of what we did was just in this one script, right? If I had to do this with like an update loop and a bunch of timers, it would be messing all different stuff in this script up. But we just like have a little function called animate move, and it just kind of handles what we want to do. It's great. Love it.